Hey guys, it's Marta. It stopped raining. It was raining for the whole week. As soon as I saw the sun, I decided to come here, put some plants, some fall decorations in this part of the garden. I will talk about what grew here, what was great, what was not, and what I'm planning for the fall. Let's go. So yesterday I went to my gardening center, the one that is closest to me. I really love it. It's small, but it's packed with beautiful plants. I brought some heathers, but I also brought chrysanthemums. I will not be planting those in these pots, but I wanted to give you a tip. When you're buying plants, it's definitely better to buy them when they are all just in the bud stage. Maybe one flower is open so you can see the color that you like, but buying plants in this stage will give you all the flowering in your garden, not in the gardening center. Sometimes we just look at this plant that is beautiful, it's full of flowers, but we do not know how long it has been blooming there. If we buy them in bud, the whole flowering time will be in your garden and not there. So this is a tip for buying your plants. This whole plant was in bud, so it is my guess what the color will be, but I thought I will risk it and we'll see. Tell me, what do you think, what color it will be? I am really hoping for some pinks mixed with salmon, and this is my wish. We'll see how it will go. Sometimes we can get something very muted. So I will see how it works. I will find a place for it, but if it's salmon and pink, it will definitely go in the pots in my entryway. If not, we'll see. I have some spaces that I want chrysanthemums to bloom during the fall, because they are beautiful, they last for a very long time. So we'll see. I'm waiting for your guesses. Okay guys, let me tell you what catches your eye when you look at this. For me, whenever I come with my car, because behind me there are the cars where we park them, so whenever I come from anywhere, this is what catches my eye. This is my Japanese maple. It's called Seiru. It is lime green through the whole season, and then in the fall it will turn red. It's just started turning red, so you can see some parts of it are still lime and some are, let's say, ruddy color, but it will be like deep red. I really love it in the fall. I also bought another Japanese maple. This one is Seiru and this one is Ryusei, and I thought they would be similar. This one is in pendula form, so it's like creeping down, and it's not the same. They don't turn the color at the same time. This one is definitely late to the party, and that's a bummer, because sometimes we get freezing temperatures later in the fall, and that is always a problem because it can lose the leaves before they turn perfect red. So if you're looking for a maple, Japanese maple, that turns its color earlier, Seiru will be your way to go. So I had this idea for this part of the garden to have it in the pots. I love that because some of the pots have plants for a long time, like the maples. They are always here, so they are here in spring, summer and autumn. But some of the pots are the pots I can change the decorations. So in the spring we have tulips or hyacinths, whatever bulbs I want here. Then in the summer we'll have a lot of supertunias. This year we had supertunia snowdrift and supertunia mini vista yellow, and they worked like charm. I really loved that. It was very limey and white composition, and with the leaves of the Seiru maple during the summer, which were also lime, it looked really beautiful. We also had some perennials like kukkeras that are the lime marmalade kukera, so that worked perfectly. In the fall I can also change. I can work with heathers and any other plants I would like to, and maybe I will even do the winter decoration. I really love that I can change, I can test, I can see what works and what doesn't, and each year I can do it differently. So I can have a new inspiration and do different types every year, but I have some like main plants that are always here. But I can always change. I can take one plant out, put it in the garden and make something different. But what I really love about this space is the maintenance. We put everything on drip irrigation. Every pot has its own irrigation, and I don't have to do a thing. I will come from time to time and fertilize the space, but it was such a relief, because normally if I had a lot of pots I would spend 1 to 2 hours just watering the plants, and now everything is done without me even knowing that it's done, and I'm really happy about it. So I was thinking yesterday what colors I would like in this space. I cleaned everything from the supertunias, I washed the pots, and I thought I will need some contrasting colors, because I was thinking about white heathers, but then I was like, nah, I think the deep pink will be definitely better because of the red leaves on the maples that will be here. We'll also have some other plants that have really nice red leaves. So I thought red with deep pink will be something nice, and we'll also have some contrasting colors from the lime of the hostas or the other heather that is very green. We also have heucheras that are very lime. So a nice contrasting vibe for the fall. Maybe I will add some kind of pumpkins. As you can see, here are my heathers. I always do this dry mock-up, as I call it. I put all of the plants in the pots. I've shown you before how I do it. I try to see if it works, because sometimes you have an idea in your head and it just doesn't work in this particular pot. So I put them in their pots, I see if it works. I really love how the green heather is contrasting those deep pinks, and then the more and more red the maple will become, I think the contrast will be even more seen. So now all I have to do is just plant them and enjoy them. So whenever I'm planting in a pot that had something before, I will just remember if I had any problems with any diseases or maybe pests. If so, I will remove everything from the pot and I will wash it. If there was not a problem, I sometimes will remove just the upper part of the pot, of the soil, and put some new one. When you're planting heathers, it's good to remember that they like ericaceous soil, so you can use a soil or a soil mixture for the plants that like ericaceous soil. So it will be a plant mix made for rhododendrons or heathers or hydrangeas. They are all good for these types of plants. For me, I had no problems with my plants this year, so I think I can use most of the soil that is there. Plus, I am using my heathers as an annuals, because I don't have the space to plant them in later. So from my experience, it is not a problem to plant them in the soil that was there, and they will thrive for like 2 months, and then I will do something Christmassy here. So I'm putting the plants in the pots one by one. Yesterday when I brought the plants, I watered them very thoroughly, so they are nicely hydrated before planting. I removed some parts of the soil that had maybe roots in. I checked if there are any slugs or snails, and I removed the upper part of the soil. I used the soil for rhododendrons that is very ericaceous, and I planted the plants. I will also water them in very nicely after planting. When you're watering your heathers, remember not to put too much water on them, especially if they are in the sun, because it might cause the blooms to become brown. So it's very hard to water them without putting the water on their flowers, but I try to do it, and if I can't, I will just do it when they are in the shade. Few more pots to go, but I wanted to talk about this pot. In this pot I had my Coleus lime thyme. I loved it. It was struggling in the beginning of the season because it was very cold. Then it started growing, bulking up, beautiful color. Really loved the space. And just like a week ago, maybe a bit more, we had a very light frost. It really touched few parts of the garden. Some plants are totally unaffected, so my dahlias are like performing very well still. But this was the part that got hit the most, the coleus. I removed part of it because the leaves were really black. Some of them they struggle, but I don't think they will look any better. And this is my plan in this pot, to put a chrysanthemum. I think it will look perfect if I get a deep pink one. I think it will be a different color. We'll see. Oh boys, I'm so sorry that you got this frost. So this pot was a disappointment. This is a hydrangea runaway bride, so one of the most awarded hydrangeas ever. This is our second year together. In the first year they were tiny plants, and I had two, and they really bloomed really nicely. And this year, from the beginning of the season, this hydrangea was not too happy. It was trying to escape from the wall. When you look at the lighting conditions and watering conditions and the soil it has in the pot, it should be happy, but somehow it doesn't like the conditions. This is always a nice thing to observe your plants. Sometimes you will give the space you will think is nice, and the plant will not like it. So I will take her for a winter in my greenhouse, because this is where if I have gardening hydrangeas or mop hydrangeas, or like this one, this is a hybrid, but the plants that bloom on old wood, also I will take them to the greenhouse, because then the overwintering is always better and we have better results. So we'll see, maybe next year I will give her another space and something new will appear here. But this was a disappointment, and sometimes it happens and we can just draw conclusions why that might be, and maybe find a different space for the plant. Guys, please let me know in the comments, do you like experiments like that? Do you like growing different plants in the same pots, searching for the right plant combination, color combinations? I really love doing that, not only to have different experiences, but also to draw from this experience. Maybe I will change something in my borders, and sometimes maybe it's just an idea for an outfit I will wear, or something in the house that I will do. So I think that getting inspired in your own garden, sometimes trying new things, can also be great. I'm really interested in how you do that, and what were your great experiments, and maybe you had some failures that also gave you some knowledge about what you do not like. That's always good to know too. Okay guys, I'm going to plant some more plants, and if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, hit that bell button so you get all of the notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully the weather will be as nice as today. See you, bye.